Okay, hello. Welcome to another edition of Inside Email Stack. Today, we are going to talk about one of our other products, Email Love Pro, which is the paid version of emaillove.com. Last week, I posted about how it wasn't going very well on LinkedIn, and uh, I asked for feedback, and I actually got a lot of feedback and opinions, and we're going to talk about what people are saying and recommending, and we can even dive into the numbers and look at a few small changes that we've made since then. Okay, so let's maybe give you a quick overview of what Email Love Pro is first, so that everyone understands it. So this is the confusing thing about our website. It's a content first website. So the idea is we want to drive people to emaillove.com. The people that come here are typically lifecycle marketers, CRM marketers, designers, developers. And we offer a number of free features. You can curate your own collections. You can see the full journey of certain brands. So we actually buy products and upload all of the transactional emails. And then we have various industry and brand level reporting and insights that you can get. This is the current pricing for Email Love Pro. So there's the free version where you get basically the difference is you get 2 trend reports, 3 brand insights, and 3 journeys on the free plan. And then if you want full access to all of the journeys and reports and insights, you got to upgrade for $19 per month. There's also a discount for annual plans. So that is kind of what you get with Email Love Pro, which is different to the Figma plugin. So the Figma plugin is also, just to make sure everyone understands, the Figma plugin, completely different product, different pricing, but under the same brand. And sometimes people do get confused between the two. So
I was
that's
about
one
to say,
issue that we need to.
yeah, it's definitely something that is part of the problem is that people are confused as to which one's which, right?
Yes, and sometimes people buy Email Love Pro, they buy this thinking it's the plugin. So we have had people do that as well. I don't know. I'm still on the fence of if that's like the minority of people. I think we need a little bit more time. Yeah, and people don't read is what I'm learning. they just come here. They think the only thing we have is the Figma plugin, and they purchase here thinking they're going to get the plugin, which is not right. But I posted on LinkedIn last week, so this is the actual post. I said it's basically Email Love Pro. We launched it and it bombed. I think that really got people's attention and drove a lot of comments. And then I basically was saying, the funny thing is, before we launched Email Love Pro, I put all our data into like ChatGPT and Claude, and I was doing all this forecasting, and I was, predicting it was going to, be amazing, and we were going to make so much money from it because we have 30 to 40,000 people visiting the website, and you'd think you'd convert a decent amount of those people immediately. What AI was telling me, and we launched it into nothing. So,
Yeah, it
which
really
is
was.
like, actually, in hindsight, that's probably what you should expect. Is
Yeah,
you're not
and it
going
really
to launch and get instant sales.
no, and it really kind of was nothing as well, which was quite odd. I thought. I think maybe one or two. I know we had some that were we asked to join and kind of test for us, which is great. But yeah, it was quite strange that it was nothing considering how much traffic we do get.
Yeah, which maybe is just it's not enough value, or people don't value enough. Maybe there's not enough in there to buy people paying for it.
I'm not sure.
But we have had people buy since then. Like people have slowly dripped in. So maybe it's just like a really slow roll. I think it's not the kind of product that you want to buy yourself. You want your company to pay for it. So I don't know if that takes time to get the company credit card and to like ask your boss for like approval. I don't know if that is part of it as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think my general view on it, and we'll dive into a bit more, is that we just don't know quite yet, which is quite frustrating to not know. But we're seeing some people are buying it, and we're seeing some positive feedback. I think that it's going to offer value, but we either haven't quite got enough value in there, or we haven't explained the value well enough. Because we are seeing positive feedback, some positive feedback, not a huge amount, some, and people are signing up now, although they're not responding to kind of, hey, how's it going? Which, that's fine. It's them. So that's my kind of overall take. I think it's really good that you can put that out there and get lots of feedback as well, right?
We actually got sales from like right after I posted this. We did fun, like weirdly people like I guess pity us, and they did make some purchases. So that was, maybe I should do more of this.
You say pity, but I think there's an awareness. They didn't know about it before.
Yeah, awareness, not pity.
Yeah, and one of the comments, to be fair, was keep pushing it. You haven't promoted it enough. I don't know about it. Was the kind of thread, right? The theme that they were
There's
in their
various, like if we go into the comments, yeah, like Thibaut here, keep pushing. It's only 6 months. Actually, it's not even 6 months. It's like 3 months. So
yeah,
it is a very new product. I think maybe we're giving away too much in the free plan, which is what some people were saying. But maybe we need to probably we can easily roll back kind of how much you get in the free plan.
Well, this is something that I'd really like to speak to people about, because my natural reaction is to remove things from the free plan, and make it more painful in a nice way when they have to upgrade, so much so that they'll pay, right? But I'm coming from the enterprise selling side of things, where you don't get anything unless you pay. It'd be really cool if we could experiment in some way where we could just all they could get would be maybe one view of a trend report, and the rest they have to sign up for, because so right now they get the free stuff monthly, right? And you might only want to need to look at one trend report a month, so you're going to get that.
Yeah, maybe we need
And
to
then the next
change
month,
it so it's just like one, like it's
just one.
only once ever.
Yeah, just one report, because the trend reports don't change that dramatically from month to month, do they? In
So
theory.
maybe, yeah, it's a good idea actually. Yeah, so maybe for trend reports, brand insights, and journeys, we just change it so you can only see it once, and then you need to upgrade.
Yeah, that's something I was thinking through the other day.
Is that too stingy?
I mean, I don't think so, but again, I'm coming from the side of, I actually think that's still quite a lot. There's.
I know, but I want to give value to our audience, and yeah, I mean, I'm probably just being too nice, but I think I think a good compromise could be one trend report, one brand insight, and one journey per month.
I think that feels right. I was about to say, I think 3 journeys is probably the one that is the most generous.
Yeah, it's like too generous.
Right. Yeah. Journeys are so valuable, and also they're a big deal for you to create, right? And they take time.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got to make
go through the whole thing.
purchases, and we've got to, if you are interested in that brand, it's very valuable, I think.
Yeah. And it's probably the one that we should focus on more and do more of as well, even though it's harder to do, because we did have some positive feedback on the comments that you had about journeys. I had someone message me as well who is a pro subscriber talking about journeys as being something valuable that we don't promote enough. Let me find the message that he said actually to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of
he said, I think journeys is a niche you do that I can't see anybody else do, which I think is true, or I think maybe one of our competitors
not completely true. No, it's not.
No, it's not completely
there
true.
is another competitor that does it,
Yeah.
but mostly, I mean, that competitor also charges a lot.
All right. And I think it's going back to the changing it from 3 a month to 1 only. People will, because it doesn't change that much, they are going to think, well, I only need to look at this once, download the report, and then they can say, well, next time I do a presentation internally, or maybe they're a CSM manager and they're doing it to their customers, they go back the next month and they get it again, or they get 3 again that month. And then, so I do, that feels like, now I've said it aloud and we talked about it live on camera. I think it's probably, it does make a lot of sense. So it'd be good to test that, I think.
So it's, I don't know about, I mean, testing is a little bit tricky.
When I say testing,
I couldn't do it. Yeah, just like we're gonna change it.
Change it and then see what happens. That's what I mean.
We're not sophisticated enough to actually run a split test on this, unfortunately.
No, we don't. Well, we don't have enough. Yeah, we don't have enough for that. It's probably not worth it. It's worth it just changing it. And if it, we don't see any significant difference, or we get people complaining, then we can think about changing it back, right?
Right. Yeah, and then there's a lot of comments around the positioning of it, which I don't know. I feel like I'm unclear if just changing a few words actually makes a big difference. I know that people specialize in this, and it's all about the copy, but I find it hard to believe that people can't see the value based on what we have on the website. But maybe I'm wrong there. I have made a change. Taffy here had some good feedback. Remove your picture from the website. It looks like you're selling a service, which now that she says that, I'm like, oh yeah, I agree with that. And I've actually removed my picture. I thought I added the picture because I thought I wanted it to look like, I wanted people to be like, oh, this is a person behind this. I can relate to this person, or, I wanted to make it just more in the age of AI, there's actually a person doing this. It's not just all AI behind the scenes, is kind of the reasoning behind adding the picture. But at the same time, I get what she means. I don't want people to think this is like a service where I'm physically doing stuff.
I get the both sides, but I just think people are kind of being trained where when they see somebody,
it's like this is an agency.
Immediately, it's an agency or a service. Yeah. Even though, because as you said, no one reads anything. It's an immediate assumption based on what they're seeing. So I do get that, and it's a shame. I was thinking maybe when we're there, got a bit of time, build out the about us section to kind of explain the story and the history, and that could cover that kind of personal thing of the site, so it doesn't feel like it's a robot doing it. I think that's probably I know you have one. We have one.
There isn't about. I mean, it's not updated. We could update it to be more about us, but there is a hey, oh, this picture's broken. Let me fix that. But there's a whole page about kind of
stick your picture in there and
what it is. It
is that what that
does.
Meant to be?
The picture is broken because we switched image hosting. And I also have made a change to the H1 and kind of the description. So now it's email marketing intelligence for busy lifecycle marketers. And this is the logged out. So the logged in versus logged out homepage is different. So this is for people that just, they've never been to the site, they're not logged into it. This is what they see. Which I can't remember exactly what I had before, but I'm just trying to get across that this is like an intelligence platform rather than just like email inspiration. And then kind of updating the description to be more around like analysis, journey mapping. I haven't changed these. I still think, at the core, we're uploading a ton of emails we subscribe to a ton of emails and we upload a ton every month.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if you're just new to the site and you're scrolling through here, you get a pretty good idea of like what is and what we do.
I mean, it makes. I agree. I look at this and go, this gives a good impression of what it is that Email Love does. But is that what everyone else thinks? And that's what I keep coming back to. I kind of feel like we might need to do. We don't, and I don't think we need to do it today in the next couple of weeks, but do some kind of user interviews where people who might know less about us, we put Email Love in front of them and get them to explain what it is. And that's kind of would help us maybe spot any blind spots that we have about what it is that we offer. Because I know you said a minute ago, you're not sure whether tweaking certain words would make a difference. I feel a bit more strongly about that I think we haven't got the positioning right and we haven't got the messaging right. From kind of the inspiration that someone can see to creating an account, which you have some free stuff in, to then signing up for Pro. I don't think we've got that messaging well enough. And maybe there's maybe a UX element to it as well. Around how someone creates an account, when they kind of see the inspiration versus look at the brands or look at the journeys and how they create an account and then go from there. There's probably some bits that we could improve there, which will require someone who probably knows this stuff better than us. Yeah, I do. I think that is something we need to work on for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been designed so that you have to log in. So like if you go to the journeys page, it's going to make you sign into the site. And we have Google sign in. It's pretty easy to sign in. And actually this drives our email list, because when you sign in, you subscribe to our email list, and that's, we're growing at a very good rate because we make people sign up to the site to actually see journeys and trends in the first place. And then once you have viewed 3 journeys, you then get pushed to the pricing page, which is this page here. So you would be asked to upgrade to the paid plan. But I think if we reduce this, what's included in the free, then we're going to be driving more people to this page more quickly. So that'll be interesting if that drives more signups.
Yeah. I say I don't know the answer. That's the thing. I don't know what to change, but I do think there is something that we need to change in the UX and the flow and the messaging. And when I say messaging, I mean the copy, the words that are there, to make someone really see the value of what it is they're going to get. So I think it's a combination of all those things, all the things we're talking about. But
one person was saying, don't make people sign in to like see journeys or trend reports. Like you should be able to just like see those, and then, but that workflow is tricky because I don't know, like it's hard to like show something to someone and then also know what they've seen unless they're logged in. that's why we make them log in first.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, like these if you look at like most websites, you have to log in to see anything. Our website actually, all the inspiration is unlocked and free.
No, and
like you can come and see any email, and that's like indexed by Google and free for you to view.
And it should stay that way for sure. I mean, that's part of what it is. I think that's really interesting to keep it that way. To me, it has to stay that way. I think the other thing to kind of think about, like when you're buying something, whether it's a kind of SaaS product or something like this, because really Email Love Pro is a type of SaaS product, right? It's a monthly thing.
Yeah, it's a subscription.
When you're creating an account, you're selecting the account, your price option each time. So now if you go to Journeys, right, and you select Journeys, because you're logged in a logged out state,
I'm logged out, so you're
going to have a login, right? But actually what they're doing is they're logging in to the free version.
Yes.
So is it confusing? And this is a question I don't know the answer. Is it confusing here when they go, oh yeah, cool, I sign into Journeys, when actually what they're doing is, if you go to, they're actually signing up for the free account. So really,
yes, they now have a free account and they can see limited.
Yeah.
But the idea was, once you see, you go through, you look at 3 of these journeys, you get to the 4th one. Actually, now that I say that, it's like way too many. And then it kicks you off to the pricing page where you've got to upgrade. Actually, there's an upgrade page where it says like, it's not clear that they're signed up for a free account.
Right, because they'll be like, oh, what? No, I just created an account. But what they're on is this free account. So maybe
but then you're going to land here though, and then they're going to be like, oh yeah, I've run out. I've got to. I obviously have to upgrade because I can't see anymore.
Yeah, but I'm wondering whether rather than when they create the account the first time round, so in that logged out state, and then they go to Journeys, you log in, we shouldn't be showing them the entire pricing structure like what's on the screen now, but obviously not the upgrade page. So they know that they're creating this free account. They know what they're getting, because otherwise they're just signing in. They don't know that if they've come through that process, they don't know there's such thing as pro. And that's kind of what I mean. Like, I don't know whether that is the answer, but I feel like the consistency maybe is just a bit off, because you don't know that you're signing up. You don't, if we follow that journey, you kind of you go onto the site, you follow that journey to Journeys, you go on the site and you go to Journeys, and then you log in. You actually don't know that you've got right now 3 journeys a month, because you don't see that anywhere if you're going through that path. And I think it's something around that is causing, I think that's causing some confusion. So yeah, I think how
do we put some, if I log out, yes, I want to log out.
So if you go to Journeys now, right, it's going to do the login.
Do we just put something?
Do we want to put the full pricing page, as it were, pricing options, account options here? So they know now, okay, sign in to see Journeys, trends and brands, insights. And then if it's the one on the left, obviously the free account, that's what they can create at that stage. And now they know that that's what they're getting.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. So rather than, I just don't want to confuse people that already have a, I guess on this, there's a sign up page, and then there's also a login page. So login, I think, can stay like this.
That can stay the same, because you're going to assume they're going back there if they've already created an account.
This could say like, choose your plan to sign up for, and then it could show
this,
like this table. Actually, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So this is the sign up, basically.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't know if, whether that will help.
Well, what if what if you come to the site, you're logged out, you click on Journeys, and what if we just redirect you to this page
here? Yeah. And that would be the sign up.
It's a pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's an easy thing to change.
And also on the site.
I think we should just do that, because then
Yeah.
they can see like, oh yeah, I create a free account, or the problem is they still have to create a free account to actually upgrade. They can't just like instantly
But if you click sign in, okay, so you can change that to, you could change that, can you?
How do you mean?
But I don't know. We'd have to figure that out. But I think that makes more sense. So when you're creating an account for the first time, you're seeing this view, right? You're seeing what you're signing up for, and you're seeing the fact that this is what you've got under that account. Even if they're coming from the flow of wanting to create collections, because you have to create an account to create collections, right? It doesn't matter, because they're now seeing that collections is part of the free account in there, create unlimited collections. So it doesn't matter. They're still getting the free account. I think it's definitely worth something to try if we can do it, so we don't have to, sign in at this bit.
Yeah, I think this makes sense. Yeah, okay. The other thing I did is I set up I think we can easily test this, or like set it up and just
My
redirect.
testing, just do it and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Just go to the upgrade page.
Yeah.
So we can definitely do that. The other thing I did is I set up a journey for people who sign up for a free account, and they now get a series of emails educating them on like what Journeys is, what Trends is, and then they at the end they get an email asking them, or like telling them about Email of Pro and like what's included and why they should upgrade. And so that now automatically goes out to everyone who creates a free account. And I think as soon as I did that, I got a reply of someone just saying, "I want the. Can you tell me about the Email of Figma plugin?" So the other issue we have is we have a completely different product that is sold separately. It's under the same brand and is way more successful than Email of Pro. So this is like,
I mean,
this makes way more money than Email
yeah.
of Pro. And
I mean,
the other argument is, do we just like focus on this? Do we just like get rid of Email of Pro and just be like, Email of is our, this is how we get people to the website, but ultimately we want to sell to people that use Figma to design emails and get them using our Figma plugin.
Yeah, I mean, they're both legit revenue streams. The
Well,
Figma,
Email of Pro is not legit yet.
well, can be legit revenue
It could.
stream.
I mean, potentially.
The Figma plugin is a legit revenue stream now, but it's also a year old, bit over a year old, right? So it's got a bit more history and time behind it. But I think they're both legit revenue streams. One soon to be that we can grow. But it is a real confusion for people. And we keep going back and forth, don't we, about whether this should, as you said, spin out as its own brand on its own, on its own website.
Yeah, I mean, the other option is we rebrand it, which I'm really hesitant to do.
Yeah, and I think we've decided we're not going to do that now. But what can we do to differentiate this from the rest of the site? Do we want to do something simple, like take it from the back background there to a different color, so it's clear that you've navigated to somewhere that is slightly different, that kind of thing. I see you moved yourself from there as well.
I removed myself because
the feedback.
Again, this one I really don't want people to think this is a service. So
no, and it's I mean, it's not. And this is going to be the bigger product out of all of them that's going to develop, and we have developers working on it right now to improve it. And then we have an enterprise package with some amazing enterprise brands that are using it, and that's what we're focusing to grow. That's what we're focusing on to grow it further. So there is an issue, right? There is a slight confusion. So we do have to figure something out. on it. What did
I
we? I
was
think
trying to think of like what other companies do this. Like, are there any other like websites that are kind of content first, but then have also added products that they sell separately? Or I couldn't think of any, but there must be some out there that are like an SEO website that also has an SEO tool. Because quite often you can just see how others are doing it and kind of copy them.
I don't think there is anyone that's doing it in this way, because I think email love and the inspiration part of it is so much bigger than someone else, people that are doing something else around it.
Well, if we let's say we didn't have email of Pro, would there be a problem? No, right? The issue is because we have two separate subscription options.
I think the issue. Yes, good question. I think the issue is because we have two different subscription options. Yes. So when people are thinking, they're going to buy something, what are they buying? Yeah, are they buying Pro or are they buying the plugin?
Well, the other option is you just bundle it all together. You buy email of Pro and you get the Figma plugin as well, which I was looking at Dribble, because I quite like the idea of being Dribble for email. And if you look at their Pro pricing, people designers subscribe to Dribble because they want leads. That's really like the main reason, right? I want to promote my portfolio, so it's a little bit different to email love in that way. Like, we don't have a way for people to promote their portfolio, and I have thought about this. I don't know if it makes sense for us to do that. But what's interesting is they bundle in a bunch of stuff in here. So they actually bundle in 12 months of Webflow for free, which is interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then they also get 2 months of Listener's
listeners.
plan. I don't even know what that is or how to pronounce that. Okay, run unlimited tests, surveys, and interviews. Interesting. But it's actually an interesting idea. Like, could we approach an ESP or adjacent product and bundle it into Pro to make it more attractive? Or do we bundle in the email of Figma plugin and just say like, hey, you also get 12 months of plugin if you subscribe?
It is really interesting. I don't know. My natural reaction is I don't like it, because I think it could be even more confusing. But if we take it from the, I think I had it in my head that we would still want someone to be able to buy the plugin separately of Pro, because we see the plugin as a standalone.
Yeah, there's only people who just want the plugin. They don't want.
Yes,
they don't want Pro. So like forcing them to buy Pro is maybe.
And we've also got people that use the plugin that don't necessarily spend that much time on email love. To be fair to them, they're
it's true.
And so the two are not connected in that way. But having Pro have bundled stuff in, like the Figma plugin, or even something else like access to another email tool, is really interesting.
Because I'm assuming they're like paying them, right? Like, how does this work with Webflow? They must be saying to Webflow, "Hey, we'll give you."
They must have some kind of affiliate.
They're just like, we'll pay you 50%, like 50%. I don't know what they would pay. Like, it's hard to know what kind of deal they've done with Webflow, but obviously, and Dribble is like a different scale. They have like millions of people coming to their site every month, I think. So it's a little bit of a different scale to us, but I think we could, like, it could be interesting to approach someone and say like, hey, give us, 12, can we bundle in 12 months of X product, or like a tier of your product into email of Pro, and we'll kick you back X dollars per subscription.
I think it's really interesting to consider. I think it's
because that like improves the value, like it's going to give our customers more value. It's going to give whoever we partner with some exposure. Like it seems like a win-win actually. Now that I think about this, and I think it doesn't make sense to do it for the plugin because
No.
also the plugin's pretty specialized and like
Yeah.
there's not everyone is going to want to use it. But
I also think it would be too confusing to have it as well as now have the plugin now in Pro when we do have it separate. It's kind of holding it separate, but it's also included.
It could be cool to have like an inbox preview partner or something like this, where it's like, hey, you get 12 months of inbox previews from X partner, bundled into Email Love Pro. We should actually like approach some companies to see.
We should probably test that, shouldn't we? Yeah, I think that would be quite neat.
Because that's if we can do that, that's a fairly easy way for us to add value to Pro without having to like develop new features.
Yeah, interesting. I think in my head right now, the way that we would, I feel like we would need to just solve some of these other confusion issues first as well.
Before we confuse it more.
Before we add more stuff in. Exactly. That's my feeling. And yeah, just see how we can stop the confusion with the plugin as well. Because that's where this came from. We were talking about the plugin, and I do think we should change the style of the plugin page compared to the rest of the pages. That feels like
it has been different. I only recently changed it. Like it was like purple and like, it did look a bit different.
I would change it even a bit more, so it's so clear that it's a different thing. I think that's a good thing we could try. Again, do a test. But also, I think we were talking about maybe coming out with a name for it. So rather than the kind of Email Log Figma plugin, it would have a name,
which is a mouthful.
But coming out with a name is obviously a massive pain. So yeah.
Yeah, and then there's like SEO implications, and
yes, there are.
It just I don't know if that would ultimately make a difference. Like
I don't know
like
either.
I think that you can name something anything and it doesn't really matter. Like people like Google, when Google came out, people were probably like, what the heck is that name? Like that's crazy. Like it sounds stupid.
Yeah. But it's a name, and right now we don't have a name because the Email Love Figma plugin is not a name. But but if we say Email Love, then we're talking about everything else with Email Love, not the plugin. So we have to say Email Love Figma plugin, so it's different. So if we had a name, I think it would help. I don't think it's going to change the confusion massively, but I think it would help. Even little things like I know that when we get featured, it's the Email Love Figma plugin, or someone was calling it the other day, or HTML to email or something. That was the description. Okay, if we had a name, I feel
we'd
like
have to come up with a name.
But I mean, that's the key. Is like if we can't come up with a name, then obviously it's pointless. So we have to try and think of a name that's good. Well, sorry, that's not true. That name doesn't have to be good. It's something we can bear, something we like.
Yeah, that's very tricky to come up with. And I think I also want it to be a name. It would have to be a name that potentially we could add other products to it in the future if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll kind of go off the Email Love Pro topic. Do we want to look at the numbers? We can show our lemon squeezy and
why don't we finish off with the numbers? I think it's quite nice to, in the spirit of transparency. I find that a lot of people who do the kind of transparency online sometimes they tend to start after they've had a certain amount of revenue.
Yes, it's like I'm at $10,000 MRR.
Yeah. Not everyone, to be fair, because we were looking at that one earlier last week, weren't we? Or was it Monday where they were doing that? But I think
Ollie from Senja does very transparent, and I do remember him being transparent even when they were, really small. And now they're big, so it looks different now. But if you go back far enough, he was sharing everything even when they were like starting out.
So I think we should share it. I think we should share it starting out.
Yeah, I mean, let me just pull it up here. So when did we launch? I think we launched in July. And it's only October 29th. So it hasn't been out too long. Let me just share again. So we use Lemon Squeezy is what we use. So this is from July to October. So we are we've made $1,648, 132%. So we're up a lot. The MRR, $432 MRR.
Oh, well, it's gone up since yesterday or day before.
Yeah, we had a subscription yesterday, which was nice. And I get very excited when we get the Slack notification saying someone subscribed to Email of Pro, and I'm like, yes, this is still, even for the plugin, it's still pretty exciting for me. So 24 subscribers since we launched. I don't know if that includes some. We did give away some for free just to people who know. I don't know if that includes this.
And the free refunds are the people thinking they're signing up for the plugin.
Yeah, the refunds are mostly people that, actually, I think they're all people that signed up for Pro thinking it was the plugin for some reason. Yeah, so this is our numbers. It'll be interesting to review this time next year to see where we're at. I think if you do, I did put these numbers into AI to like forecast at some point, and it was like, you're going to be at $15,000 MRR next year, and I'm like, I don't think I think AI doesn't know what it's doing. It does the forecasting in general, I find to be just like you're just guessing. You don't know what's going to happen.
Well, it's just taking the percentage and going, if I extrapolate out, I guess. Yeah, but that's the.
I know, but big companies are forecasting their whole. They're like, we need to do this much MRR or this much sales this quarter, and then when they don't hit it, they just go and fire a bunch of people because they don't actually know.
I mean, AI is overly friendly anyway, right? So you can put something in there going.
Well, you can say like, be brutally honest and tell me.
Exactly. I don't do that because I like the affirmation. It's kind
of, yeah, I mean, I'd love
idea. What do you think? Oh, man, it's the best idea ever. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I guess in 12 months though, it could be, probably realistically a 4 or 5K MRR product. Yeah. I think would we be happy with that, or would that be like, is that even worth it for us?
I don't know, honestly. I think 10K feels like a good amount to make it worth it. If we are increasing.
I know, but I'm not confident we could get to 10K in the next 12 months. I mean, maybe with some of these changes, or like we add like a partner that adds a lot of value. Maybe we could get there.
Yeah, I'm not confident either massively. Not right now. I think we need to see a bit more, right? But I'm confident still of the concept of what we're trying to do. And that concept should be able to generate 10K MRR. And if we can, and the way I see it is we combine that revenue with revenue that we make on sponsorship that we have on the site, which I think in the next couple of months we can increase the price of that as we get more traffic. To me, combining those together is kind of what the email love revenue is, and then we have the plugin revenue as kind of separate revenue, as it were. That's how I see that kind of working.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. The sponsorship should be. I mean, I think we need to really consistently hit like even more traffic. Like we need like 80 to 100K per month. People per month coming to the site to like really, generate 6 figures from sponsorship, because you got to think about like they're just looking at the numbers. They're just like, how many clicks are you driving for me? And right now the pricing is, I think, aligned with the amount of traffic. And we've probably been growing into our pricing a little bit. So I think we're not ready to increase it just yet, because I just based on like what advertisers have told me, like they need more clicks for they look at cost per click, right? So, or I think one was looking at cost per lead. So I think we're not far off, but like the current traffic is about right for the price that we charge at the moment.
Yeah, so we'd need to see the traffic
like
increase for sure.
Yeah,
but it's increasing, so we should get to that.
It has been increasing. Yeah, I mean, last month we had a ton of bots, which kind of bloated the numbers a bit. But I can tell, like, we're at the end of October. You know, we're up on July and August's numbers, so it is growing, and the email list is growing really nicely. So maybe we just need more. I mean, I guess realistically, launching in July, we're only in October.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is our expectations, or like my expectations at least, were like a lot higher than
expectations are always higher. You always think it's going to go quicker than it does, and it never does. Yeah, I think we maybe set ourselves too higher expectations, but I think everyone does that, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, the Figma plugin is also kind of taken a while to ramp up, and it's been a bit like the self-service side's been a bit stagnant. But we just hired some AI people to add some interesting features that I think will probably boost sales in the next few months. So I think we're on the right path. It's just it's much slower than
we need more. We need to speed up.
People are always asking me like, "How's it going?" And I'm like, "It's going good, but it's it's not a rocket ship like you might hear in like the like it's." You always hear like in TechCrunch or like in the news, there's like some AI startup that like started 18 months ago, was at $10 million ARR, and
yeah, but it's not that.
It's not that.
It's never going to be that, and also we don't want it to be
Well,
that.
that can exist. Like
it can. Yeah, I'm not sure. I believe some of it's a bit made up, I think.
What's interesting is Lovable, because Lovable's actually quite old. And then I saw it. Did you see that chart where it's like in the last 12 months, it's like hockey stick, but they've been around for like 8 or 9 years.
Yeah,
which is funny. I'm not sure what they were doing when they began, if they've changed, but
well, this is it, and that's the headline is massaged to kind of say it's the fastest growing business or whatever, but they're taking the last 6 months rather than the previous kind of 4 years. So they're kind of massaging the headline and making everyone feel a bit down when they're not growing as quickly, not realizing that there's been 4 or 5 years of actual kind of figuring out product market fit and changing the product before them.
And I'll be for Lovable, I'm not sure that growth will continue. I think it's kind of part of the AI hype cycle, and I think they'll still be around, but I don't know if they'll continue growing at that pace. Just because people are trying it out, they're vibe coding, but most of that stuff's not going to see the light of day. Like you've vibe coded a product, it's not going. I don't think we're not going to launch it.
No, and I didn't do it to build it as such. I did it to get the idea out of my head onto the
it's
new,
like a proof of concept type of.
And I'll use that to show people and say, hey, what do you think about this? And play around with it. But when we actually want to hook it up to the bits I want to hook it up to, I'm going to get a developer to do that because the vibe coding is not strong enough. So that means what they really are is a validation product or an MVP or product or a prototyping product, which will mean that people will do what they need to do and then cancel, which is basically what I've done. So I've done what I wanted to do. So now I've stopped buying credits So I don't pay anymore. I think that's what's going to happen. So I agree with you. The growth is going to slow down massively on that kind of thing. Yeah, cool.
Well, I don't know if we have anything else. I think that was actually a people. If you're still watching, that was a real time meeting between us, really, to figure out what we're going to do with Pro, and we're going to make some of those changes, I think. And maybe we will revisit this topic later to let you know how it's going and see if we have got past $400 MRR with this product. All right. Thanks, Matt.
Cheers, man. See you later.
See you later.
Bye.